Mega drop alert. This episode is brought to you by HK Army. If you guys have not checked it out yet, head over to hkarmy.com. They just dropped a ton of new gear for 2023. The Sonic Loader, new laser barrel kits and tips, and my personal favorite, the Zero GX harness. I have been rocking this harness since World Cup and training with it a ton, and it is honestly the greatest harness I've ever used. The pod pack does not wiggle around and move at all. No matter how much paint you load into it, it's going to stay stable while you navigate the paintball field out there. It is a 4+3 pack. Traditionally, these can carry around 11 pods, but the Zero GX has 2 additional quick draw holsters for you to carry up to 13 pods. Now let's talk loaders. There have been a ton of new loaders released at Cup, and I'm sure a bunch of you are still wondering what to choose. If you're looking for something affordable and amazing, the HK Army Sonic Loader gets the job done, reaching 16 plus balls per second and coming in under $100. So all those fans out there adding paintball gear to your Christmas list and getting ready for the 2023 season, make sure to check out hkarmy.com for the new mega drop. Use code PTG and get free shipping on your next order. Go check it out. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world 2 amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top-level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take 1 scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop, and if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you could take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Thank you guys so much for tuning in and rocking with us. We hope that you had a very Merry Christmas and are excited to send you off into the new year with a great episode with Cody Mickowski. Cody Mickowski, formerly of Los Angeles Infamous, was a big part of that team and their success and a big part of the success of the brand as well. He has made his move to San Antonio X Factor. It's going to be a huge acquisition for X Factor this year. I think it's really going to help them have a lot more control on the field. You know, they have such a talented, dynamic, young roster with a lot of aggression. Cody's going to fit right in and really bring a lot to that team. So without further ado, we're going to hop in the show and ask the tough questions.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Let's go. Shout out to the intro one time. What up, PTG Nation? We got Cody Mickowski in the house, and he has just made, obviously, world news in paintball, making the jump from Infamous over to X Factor, and we obviously want to dive into that. But first off, how you doing? Happy holidays. What's going on your end of the screen over there, Cody?
Not much. It's cold here in Wisconsin. It was like 12 today, which is awesome.
Sheesh.
And the holidays are fun. We had a full house at our house and a bunch of kids running around, and we had a good time and ready for the season to begin. That's for sure.
Yes, so are we.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny. I usually look forward to the off season so much, and this off season, I definitely felt the same. And then off season hit, and I was already kind of looking towards the next year. Obviously, your situation a little different. Leaving Infamous, going to a new team. I'm sure you're incredibly excited about that. We'll get into that. But yeah, it is kind of strange. I'm ready for the season to get started already. Holidays were great. Holidays were good. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. I know we did. We had a great time at the goat party, the little goat holiday party right before Christmas there. And then
that was wild.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's get this party started.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
2023. It's knocking at the door. And it's only a couple days out, so Happy New Year as well to everybody out there.
Yes.
And Happy New Year to you and the fam over there, Cody. Obviously, we just had this winter Arctic anomaly that happened. Did that have an effect on you guys where you're at up in there in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I mean, we were in the negatives, -9, -10. Nothing too crazy, but we're used to that up here, so we just keep on going and talked to some of my new teammates down in Texas, making sure their houses weren't freezing over and all that stuff. But they were all good. So
yeah, that was crazy.
It was literally 80 degrees on Sunday for Christmas here. I was pissed. It was so hot. I was like, why is it so warm?
Oh,
the rest
give me
of the
a break.
country's freezing. Hey, I swear, dude, I want a little bit of rain. It's colder today. It dropped back down into the 50s today, but it's super weird. Over the weekend, we had this mini heat wave, which was really strange because the rest of the country was getting this cold wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
That is interesting.
Sure.
And there was a lot of people who didn't have power. So hopefully everybody out there is okay that had to go through that because it did get a little crazy for some people out there. And some of the videos of windows and doors just completely freezing over and crazy stuff like that. And but then I talked to some of my New Yorker buddies and they're like, sometimes it gets to -30 or in the Midwest, wherever it's at. And you're like, geez, this is so a -9. You're like, all right, we can handle this. But
crazy.
It's just a whole nother breed with that weather.
Have you guys ever played indoor paintball?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you play indoor at?
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Forget the name of that. Was it O'Hare Indoor?
Yep.
That
was
that
O'Hare
one?
Indoor for a while.
Yeah, played indoor there. Boston Paintball. Shout out to Boston Paintball, their indoor field. I feel like there's been a few other indoor places. There's been some indoor places in Europe I've been to as well.
Okay. Tyler?
Yeah, the Midwest and then East Coast, Boston out there, played some paintball with the gang out there, and had a lot of fun. It's just the sound, the echo. Too. The echo is pretty heavy typically when you're playing indoor.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
And way more cheating, a little bit more fast paced. Typically a lot of the fields are white fill only. Yeah. So you see the guy going out there in the white long sleeve and you're like, yeah, that guy's a cheater.
He guy's a cheater.
He's blending in. It's Arctic style,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the snow camo.
Yeah.
But it's a whole different style of paintball, and we play that all winter long. But definitely helps with gun skills and training in that aspect because it's usually
totally
close combat.
You can definitely, you can definitely tell the the players that spend a lot of time indoors, their fundamentals are really good. That goes all the way through the divisional ranks. I work with a team out of New York, and there's players that have grown up just playing a lot of indoor paintball, and their fundamentals, their gunfighting skills are tremendous. It's because that's all you can kind of really work on during the off season, during the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's New York Wrecking Crew, right?
Yes. Yep.
Cool. My my Wisco boys got lucky and stole the title from them. Division
Dude,
3
I
X
saw
ball.
that. That's crazy to me, to be completely honest. Congratulations, first and foremost. The double points thing for World Cup was a new thing. I think it should probably be a little revised. I think that was like an extreme case. But at the same time, I feel like if you win World Cup, that is the Super Bowl. You know,
Right.
that is the Super Bowl. So I definitely agree with it being weighted more than all the other events, but maybe double points is a little much. Because, I feel bad. I mean, the New York team, they won 3 of the 4 events. And then,
they were balling. They were playing really well. And I remember I coached against them earlier in the season, and they went out and just waxed my dudes. It was like 4-0 pretty quick. They were playing really good and just real control paintball.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they got knocked out at Cup, my guys were all like, hey, we got a chance to win the title. I'm like, okay,
That's crazy.
let's just focus on the next match, though. Like,
right,
who cares about the title? We got one match at a time.
Yeah, fair point.
So,
Yeah.
And actually, I've been meaning to ask you, Cody, because there's a whole group of teams I think that you work with, and it was under the infamous brand, but it was you that kind of spearheaded that whole thing. Will those teams remain an infamous branded team, or are they going to transfer over to be some sort of version of X Factor, or is that anything you could talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. So my Wisconsin Infamous guys were like my bread and butter. Even before it was like infamous, there was always local guys that I train and help out and like do clinics for and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to stay Wisconsin Infamous, and they're pretty self-sufficient. I'll help out where I can, and especially locally because, we're just out there playing paintball.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they'll stay Wisconsin Infamous and continue this season in D2. And then the other guys I go work with, I know Tyler worked with last summer's the Blast Camp guys pretty frequently. Head down there, play with Ronnie and whoever else, and want to get out that way more often. But a little bit of a hike for me, and timing is tough sometimes in the summer.
Yeah, it's a great spot out there. Anytime I can go out to Blast, or there's so many great pockets in the Midwest too that have good paintball scenes. And there's a lot of good skill that's pumping in the nation right now, and that's what we love to see. I would like to kind of pick your brain on, there's so many divisional players out there that wonder, and I know you've coached for divisional players, how they can just attribute the most success to the time that they're applying while they're playing this game. And I'm sure you have a pretty good insight on that. So for divisional players looking to be the best, say D2, making a push into semi-pro and then taking that jump to pro, what is advice that you would give to players out there in the divisional ranks and then as they make their jump to pro? Because it's extremely hard to make that jump as well.
Yeah, no, that's actually one of my favorite parts about paintball is I got quite a few guys in the last couple of years who've all like turned pro under my, little training and stuff like that. And super proud of those dudes. But I always tell them, like, if it sucks, do it more. Like if you're not enjoying a drill or you're not liking something, do it more because it'll only get you better at it. There's one drill that I do with them all the time, and it's just like a 1-ball control drill. Where you're just snap shooting and posting and, doing everything, but you're real close, bloody knuckles type. And you go until you can't anymore. Right. So it's not about getting shot 1 time or 3 times. You just keep going. But yeah, for anyone across the whole US though, find your local field, find your local pro, be like, hey man, I'll give you $100 to come train with me, whatever the dollar amount is, but get them out there and play against the best players you can. And then have them push you. That's the biggest thing is have someone in your corner pushing you. And like I said, doing the stuff that is not fun to do. That's what will make you better.
Straight up. That's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people like to avoid, like we go out and we'll play pickup games in the off season, and a lot of the players will want to come down and play on our team. And I'm like, no, go play down there, play against us, be excited to step on the field against us. That's how you're going to get better. It's a rare opportunity that you're going to get to practice against, some of the best players in this game. So like capitalize on that. Don't try to ride on the coattails of that just to have fun, go out there and try to challenge the best players at your field, whether they're pro, semi-pro, it doesn't matter. The best ones at your field, those are the ones you want to play against. That's how you become one of the best players at your field.
Absolutely. And when you play locally and stuff, I'm sure you guys get this where that, kid will come up to you and be like, hey man, did I get you? And you're like, yeah, you shot me, dude. And like, it makes their day, but if they're excited to come and shoot you and like they're working hard for that, like that's the mentality you should have.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's such good advice, because you cannot accomplish these great feats without making good relationships. You have to be very skilled in the game, but also you have to, make relationships within the industry and in the sport as a whole, with all these different conglomerates that come together to make this thing what it is. And you have to be, making good choices and building on good relationships in there as well. So you got to be, putting in that work on and off the field, spend that $100 like you said or whatever, and link up with someone who has that knowledge and has been through those chapters before, and they can help you write your own chapters in a much quicker way just by kind of following the details that they followed.
Well, and the way I always kind of break it down for someone who reaches out or whatever, like, hey, do you own a house? You're going to call a plumber and be like, hey man, come fix my toilet because it's broken. It's us with paintball too. Call us up, message us, and be like, hey man, let me buy some of your time, get me to the paintball field, and let's just talk, let's play, let's drill, let's do whatever. And that's how you'll grow the fastest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's more opportunity now than ever before as well. We talk about this on the show a lot, obviously with BKI, with all the different pros that are doing clinics in their local areas. There's with YouTube, there's a ton of free information, Go Sports. There are so many ways that you could learn if you really want to be a student in this game and chase a professional career, or just chase being a pro, and just being good at paintball. There are so many ways that you can do that. You just have to be proactive. You got to take some damn action and take what's available to you, because there's so much of it.
Definitely.
Oh.
So we just had Christmas. Who got the gift of the year? What did you get over there? Or what, more importantly, like the little tykes, whatever the kids get and they have fun. We got some Crocs over here for the Harmon boys. So they got like little Croc jewels, some HK Croc jewels, little Minecraft, stuff
Nice.
like that. And that was a big W. And it's just fun. And we had so much fun for Christmas. So hopefully you guys did out there as well. What was going on out there for your guys' Christmas?
We got quite a few kids in our house. We got 6 in our house right now, and it gets pretty wild. But I built a pretty big dollhouse Sunday morning, for my youngest. So that was pretty big gift for her. Other than that, Nerf guns, Minecraft Legos. We got that for my son.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yeah, it was fun, dude. It's a wild time with the little ones. So,
and it's bigger than the gifts, of course. It's the timeless moments, spending time with your family and sharing those memories that last a lifetime. Snagging some photos together that you can hold on to for your entire life, and every moment is such a gift. And especially around the holidays, everyone has a much bigger, it seems like, warmer heart for the people around them. And I hope we can just carry that energy, through each month, and everybody kind of treat each month like it's the holidays, and keep rolling into 23 strong, playing some paintball. And speaking of paintball, you're the one-on-one champ. People want to know, when are we playing each other? That's one of the questions that's in the Discord.
I'm in.
Oh, let's go.
Tyler, we talked, we were walking some field, and I came up to you and I'm like, hey man, like, let's do this. I would love to do it. A ton of respect for your game, in the one-on-one world.
Right back at you.
It's a whole different dynamic of paintball, right? Where, just you and another guy or whatever the case. And I did wish that ultimate shootout thing took off more, because like when I could tell like local buddies who don't play, I'm like, hey man, it's like watching American Gladiators, like with the smoke and the buzzers and stuff like that. And it's just something easy for people to relate to that don't necessarily know the game.
So true.
But then like the style that you guys played with, like more of the slower rate of second or balls per second, and you talk about fundamentals and like the dynamic shots and stuff like that. That was a lot more to it.
Yeah, and you're tall, which will give you an advantage because in the Pro Tour, it's just the little mini temples. And it's a really unique format because as you go further down the field, you get more points. So from the back line, you get a point. From the 50, you get 2 points. And I think if you get onto their side, it might be 3. And And the ultimate shootout looked rad because, I mean, you got buzzers, you got yeah out there with the cigar, big dog in it. You got, madness going on and different bunkers and a really fun format as well. And I think that as we move into the future, there's no way that a one-on-one format won't take off because of what you're talking about. It's too easily digestible. So I think that we'll definitely see more of that. I don't know why it kind of tailored off, but it's in every NXL tournament you watch. So you get plenty of it, watching NXL, little bits of those one-on-ones, and they're really exciting and easy to watch and fun for the viewer.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like I said, I'd like to see more of it, just like you. It like you said, it adds that different dynamic of paintball, easily digestible, and it'd be cool to really see some of these other guys and their style of playing one-on-one too.
Totally.
Especially when you got like a new guy coming up to the ranks or whatever the situation. You're like, all right, I want to know more about this guy and see how he plays. And like, that's like the statute to figure it all out.
Yeah. Imagine like having a 1v1 tournament with 150 players or 200 players. I don't know how many players. And it just staggers into these brackets and you play out the tournament. And then you have this kid who is from, name the city, name the country, whatever, rolls in and just demolishes the competition and takes an event from the world's best players. You're like, who is this? And then we have that player now who we obviously know can break down situations really well. And you incorporate that player into the modern day 5-man format or the paintball game and see what that player is able to do off of that skill set. Having like paintball, it has a basketball court or it has a court style essentially, but we still always are working on the different way that the game's played within that court. But building the format like that with a 1v1 that you can filter these new players in and have really big, also probably, prizes for the 1 or 2 people that win it would be something that would be crazy to see.
It's coming. Oliver's onto it. Yeah, Oliver's onto it, 100%. I was out there, was able to witness kind of his idea around this, and it's really badass, and it definitely opens the door for anyone to join, anyone to play. There's like multiple facets of this type of format to where local fields can easily adopt it. I'm pretty excited to see what he can do with that this coming year. Mm-hmm. I know that they've been testing it at a few different fields around the country. Should be exciting.
All right, so in the pro ranks, who is the one guy you two want to play in a one-on-one just to beat at the NXL level? Like if there's one dude out there you want to be like, all right, I want to shoot him. Who is it?
I don't know. I feel like one of the hardest guy. I would have to choose like the most difficult opponent. That's what I'm thinking. And like a Malloy, like just running around all over the field would be insane to play.
You won't be able to find him.
I know he's elusive. Yeah. So like someone like that. I mean, there's so many amazing players that we have in the league right now, which is great. It's what we need and what we've got. But it's because of all the hard work. Everyone's clocked in, putting in work and becoming the sharpest players they can.
Who do you got, Marcelo?
It would be one of you two, since you guys are currently crowned the one-on-one champions. There's no one else that matters in one-on-ones, I guess. So it'd be one of you two. Easy answer.
There we go.
Not Ryan.
I mean, we could do that off air, I could play Ryan in a million of those, but
well, you guys practice all the time.
He's not currently the one-on-one champion, so no need for that.
Cool.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, you're like I said, I talked to you about it that one time. I'm like, that'd be great. You know who actually is like that secret hunter who wins them all the time and doesn't get the credit is Corey Field.
Animal.
The pros know. The pros know about Corey, though. Yeah.
I'm scared of him, dude. I'm not messing with that.
OG naughty dog.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, yep. Corey's the man. The pros know. He's about to win fantasy football in our NXL league, too. That son of a gun.
Is he?
He is. He's about to.
I'm in the finals for PTG World.
I know, dude. Again, 2 years in a row. Tyler's going to win it 2 years in a row. His first 2 years ever playing fantasy. I don't know.
We got a tough one here. Yeah.
In both of the leagues, I'm so frustrated both of the leagues, the NXL league and the PTG league, as soon as the playoffs hit, my quarterback and my like studs literally laid an egg. Both of my Herbert gets me 10 points and Justin Fields gets me 10 points in both leagues. Oh,
it just be like that sometimes.
You can't trust in Herbert.
Yeah. What?
You can't trust in Herbert.
Dude, Herbert is he was top 5 quarterback last year, and then this year he's just kind of been a dud. Yeah.
You guys
but dude, literally 10 points is literally the worst he's done all season long. All season long. So you in the game that matters most for fantasy, not even for you. So it's not a pressure situation for him. It's a pressure situation for all of his fantasy managers. He has his absolute worst performing game. And again, pretty much all my players had a similar story. I couldn't believe it. Like, you got to be kidding me. Same thing happened in the NXL thing. 10 points? Oh, come on, Justin Fields. 10. Let's see. His previous games were 25, 21, 42, 45, 28, 25, 20. Come on, bro. 10?
You had to watch the weather. Come on.
I did watch the weather. I did. Justin Fields is a running quarterback. It should not matter. He's a running quarterback. He doesn't throw a lot. It should not matter. That's literally what all the experts say. It should not matter. He does not throw. He's a running quarterback. If anything, the weather helps him because you're inclined to run more. So, yeah, trust me. I did all the research. I got hosed. I put so much time into fantasy football this year, too. I was so mad on Christmas because of fantasy. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm not looking anymore. Screw fantasy. I'm not coming back next year. I'm retiring.
Oh, get out of here. Yeah, and shout out to the Cheeseheads one time out in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Woo. We're still alive somehow.
Somehow. It's crazy.
Packers still have a chance. So.
Yeah. So, dude, Cody, we got to get to the real stuff because you just made a crazy, to me, it's one of the more surprising moves of the offseason, no doubt. I remember a year and a half ago I forget when the post was, but I believed it. I thought you had signed a 10-year deal with Infamous. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was just hype and all that. But I thought Cody Mickowski is going to be with Infamous till the day he DIEs, one of those situations. And so to me, it was a huge surprise. It's a massive pickup for X Factor, especially after losing Rainey. Your game the last couple of years has been dynamite, but I think the move surprised a lot of people. What transpired? What motivated this decision, if you don't mind sharing?
No, it's Infamous was a great team. Great little patch of my career there. I had a ton of fun, a lot of good times, a lot of good finishes, and it was, like everyone uses the term family, but a lot of those dudes will be lifelong family friends. And the whole brand with Travis exploded that brand, man. He took it from nothing to what it is today with all the different products, the pads, packs, jerseys, pants. He's got everything now, and he's really done a great job with it all. And I helped him. I helped him out with a bunch of stuff. I'm not good at anything in terms of designing or anything like that, but I was kind of like his boots on the ground for a while, and we did a lot of fun stuff together, and so happy for him and proud for what he's accomplished with the brand. But with that though, you guys have been through a couple different teams, and I just needed a change. Like I said, Travis did a ton for my career, made me an awesome paintball player and tons of fun times there, but I needed a change. And when the X Factor opportunity came to me, I kind of felt like that was the best fit for me. It also goes from where you're doing a lot of stuff for the team and the brand and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm just going to show up and be just a player. And for me in my life right now, that's kind of the best thing. But Ryan Brand and I have been buddies for a while. We've won quite a few 10-man tournaments together because we play 10-man together. He was my ultimate shootout coach for that. And so there's a little history there. And then I got a lot of history with some of the X Factor guys. I played with a couple of them on, different teams and stuff. And like I said, needed a change, needed a little switch up. And that's kind of where my decision was left. And from the Infamous side, my wife is actually still going to work for the brand and help out there. She'll still be at the events and stuff like that. And, all is good there, but just a change of pace, and going to be wearing a baby blue now, I guess.
There we go. Yeah. And kind of give us the scoop on what it was like to be a part of the Infamous team, the pro team, for so long, and have such a big impact on that organization, as well as one of the leading players taking the field every time that the team was facing anybody. So what was that experience like? And we mic'd up.
So sorry.
On the intro, let them know.
Oh my gosh. That's interesting. I accidentally hit a key on the keyboard. So there's shortcuts here. Okay, we're getting used to the new software around here. Yeah.
Are we ripping the intro right now? Let's do it.
We're not ripping the intro again.
All right. So like I was saying, just about your time with Infamous and how that has been for you.
Like I said earlier, it was a really fun time. Great program, great team. From the time I was there, we were actually a top tier team when I went there. I think we finished second overall in the series that first year. And then, we went through a rebuild, went through some transitions of players and stuff like that. Had 2 pretty rough years there, actually, trying to find the core guys and get back on the feet. And then we came back and had a really good year, not last year, but the year prior. If it wasn't for Dynasty knocking us out in semifinals of World Cup, we might have took the series from that year, and we were right there in the running. So that whole transition of time, though, was pretty fun. Like I said, lots of ups and downs, lots of players. I got to meet a whole bunch of people, through the team and all that kind of stuff. But moving forward, though, it's just one of those things where, like you said, it was like, got to get back to having fun in paintball. And like really, just focusing on just playing the game and, the podcast, right? I heard that's where you go to.
That's it.
But that was pretty much it. Like in terms of the team and the years I spent there, though, it was just a fun, super cool environment. And then watching the brand grow too was one of those cool things that, like, I was real fortunate to see, the evolution of that from just making one thing to making however many things he makes now. So,
yeah, he's crushing it. Shout out to Travis, everything that he's doing. And who is like the captain, the player captain in the team that like is, pretty much spearheading the troops or whatever in the Infamous camp?
I was the last couple of years. And then now that I'm gone, Callie's definitely going to take it over. I think Callie and Zach are, the right-hand guys in the brand. And then also, experienced veterans. They know what they're doing out there, all that kind of stuff. So I see them taking it over and just running with it, and they'll do great. But yeah, prior to that, I was kind of the leader of that team, and I'm not a very vocal or, get amped up type of guy. Tyler, you're a very passionate player, and, you let everyone know what's going on, and, that's awesome about your style, and you bring that to the team. And I'm kind of more like the subtle, quiet type, and just do as I do and, go do your thing. Right. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes the whole gang's got to be firing to win tournaments, and so whatever it takes as players to be on that same wavelength, essentially, and be able to read the seams out there together, that's how you're going to have the most success. And you and your guys did that very, very well for so many years. So it's going to be kind of interesting, meeting with a whole new group of guys, learning the camp, learning the system. I'm sure that you've already been in the team chats, cutting it loose, having fun. And what's it like, heading into X Factor? What's the vibe been like in this transition period through the holidays?
It's been good. They're open arms. Billy's reached out to me a bunch. Him and I played 10-man a couple times together. And he was probably one of the biggest advocates to get me to come over. So we'll see if I'll be right behind him in that snake a couple times this year. And, looking forward to the team and me, playing with all those guys. The Infamous and X Factor have a really good relationship, and we actually practice each other all the time. So when it comes to like knowing the guys and knowing the field and all that kind of stuff, I mean, that's kind of infamous as home field for the last 3 or 4 years. So in terms of transition, it shouldn't be much on that end. Just I'll be on a different side of the pit now. So
Yeah.
It sounds like there was no bad blood with the decision. It seems like kind of left on good terms.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
And, you look at some players who've jumped around teams and hopped around and stuff. I mean, every team I've ever played for, I've been there for 5 years. So I'm not really, looking to jump around or do anything like that. So everyone knows if I got to leave or a change has to come, there was, different things that I tried to do to stay, and different, things that I wish that would have worked out, that I would have stayed and whatnot. But,
Yeah.
every now and then you just got to mix it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've spent 16 or 17 years of my pro career in 2 camps. That's Oakland Assassins and Dynasty, where I spent, between those 2 teams, almost 17 years pro.
Right.
And then, it's been 20 years now. This upcoming year is 20 years. And there was a couple seasons where you're, like you said, you need a home. You got to have somewhere where you can flourish, somewhere where your personal best with the team best can all be accentuated and everybody skyrockets. And sometimes there's some learning curves in that process, So it is definitely something that is necessary, but it can also, it's a test. It tests you on so many levels. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know that you're going to, thrive because you just stay crushing it. Shout out to Nick Slowiak. I know he's around as well, right?
Yeah, I'm in his office right now, just hanging out, doing his thing. I don't know anything about technology. I can barely take pictures, so I'm like, hey Nick, you gotta set me up in this thing, and he came and got us hooked up. So
I can barely take pictures.
Dude,
Come
Nick
on,
is the man. Nick is the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Cody, so going to X Factor, what do you feel their shortcomings were in the 2022 season? What kept them from winning an event?
They were really close. Even I think we lost to you guys, Tyler, by 1 point or something, semifinals. Or X Factor's always been a team that's been right there. They had a rough start to this year, though. I think they missed a Sunday or something like that, and I know they've had some injuries and a little couple mix-ups. But with talking to Ryan, he's confident that I might be the missing piece for them in a control aspect. He wants to see more control out of his guys, and they're a very aggressive team. So if you can add a little bit more of the control gunfighting side to the aggression, that could be the key to success. So I'm excited for that. I'm definitely looking forward to that opportunity and seeing what I can bring in, a new system and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, they're talented, ton of good players, ton of good guys. Alex has put together the right coaching pieces, right scouting pieces, right, team members, all that kind of stuff to be successful. So we'll see if they can, and we can get it all firing on the same cylinders this year.
Yeah, X Factor is stacked. Solid team.
Yeah, they said something about slaying the dragon all year, so we'll see what we can do about that.
I keep hearing that. Been hearing that for a little bit now. Slay the dragon. What a term. I wonder where that came from.
Well, when you're on top, everyone's coming for you, right?
I hope so. Okay. Well, as far as slaying the dragon goes, what do you think it takes to actually win a tournament? Because I think that ultimately can be kind of in the same conversation. But, there's a lot of pieces. There's a lot of things that are necessary for a team to actually get to the top and win and become victorious at the end of an event. What are some of the key ingredients you see in that, Cody?
Work ethic. You guys all got to be working every single point. That's one thing that people don't really think about is every point matters, 1 point at a time. People say that, but if you all aren't putting in the effort, not just playing the points, but watching points, scouting in this today's day and age of paintball is huge. And you guys being, some of the best players in the league, I know when you line up on the other side of the field, you're looking down and be like, all right, who am I going against? Who's down there? And we all at this level know tendencies of our opponents and what they're going to do, right-handed, left-handed, stuff like that. So that's one aspect. So between work ethic, scouting, like Tyler said, get everyone on the same wavelength. Like if you're a team that, gets fired up and, hoorahs, and, if you're NYX that talks a bunch of smack but doesn't usually back it up, you know what I mean? Like, but that's what gets them going, right? So whatever your guys' like magic formula is huge.
Yeah, but some magic formulas work better than others, right? So it's not like whatever your formula is, because some don't work. And some teams believe that their formula works.
Sure.
Right. I mean, you kind of just said that with one of the teams. I won't go back and repeat it, but but like, straight up. So like, in sports, I think it's across all sports. I think there's a pretty consistent formula that is shown to work over and over. And so I guess kind of that's what I was asking you about, not rather, team specific, but if there's one that you believe that like you're going to bring to X Factor to try to elevate that team, or you go in there to more kind of fit into a system.
That's more my goal, is to go there and I want to play their style of paintball. I want to fit right in. Like I said, they've been a competitor for many years. And 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I think they won the whole series, whatever. I'm terrible with dates, so don't quote me on any of that. But
2019, they won the series.
That's it. So the goal is to get back to there. And all those guys on that team are veterans, right? There's no rookie on that team. Some younger players, but between the paintball minds that we're all going to have together, that's the goal, to figure out whatever terms of preparation and terms of event and to the final execution of however it is what the goal is going to be. So the magic formula is for me to go there and find out, right? And then bring it and add whatever I can add to it.
Yeah, I like that.
And shout out to New York one time.
Shout out to New York.
The boys are looking good at they've been working hard. They actually had a mountain to climb at World Cup.
Big time.
And
right.
They did. So I'm excited to see the squad. I just love the pro ranks, man. The pro ranks is so fun right now. There's so much good stuff going on in pro paintball. It's entertaining, to say the least.
Right. So, all right, I got a question for you guys. If there's one team that you always have their number, every time you play them, you guys always beat them, whatever team you're on or whatever the case, what team is it?
I don't know. I treat them all the same. I treat them all like they're very dangerous.
True.
Yeah, that's tough.
You don't got one?
You got one?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like anytime that you ever think like, yo, we got these guys, is like, nah. What are they doing out here? They just took a kung fu class and they're like doing flips across the field, like,
yeah.
Oh man.
I will say I've always felt like Dynasty, from the time that I've been on the team playing against Infamous, it was we're not going to let Infamous beat us situation. And I know, I think I came into the team after years of a rivalry between the two, where Infamous would beat Dynasty, and then it was like very back and forth. And so for me personally, when I'd gotten on the team, it seemed like Infamous, we just kind of had their number, specifically the 2021 season. It felt like there were multiple times where we matched up against you guys in the semifinals. And I felt like if whoever won that game was going to win the tournament, probably, and they were close.
Yep. Chicago and World Cup, 2 tournaments.
Yeah. Chicago and Cup. And those games are so close, they could go either way too. So to me, it's not so much about having your number, but there is a mindset of like certain teams that you play where it's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe the history and the dynamic of matches in the past that you've had against each other, it brings out a little more competition amongst one another. Maybe it magnifies the situation a little bit. I'm not quite sure, but Infamous was definitely one. X Factor has been one. That's always been such a fantastic battle with those guys. So both of your teams now, Cody. So welcome to the other side of the coin with X Factor. Sure. I mean, Heat's got to be one. Tyler's one of my best friends, but I mean, we're business partners here. So when we play against each other, like that's just how competition is, it doesn't matter what I'm doing or what I'm playing. your like closest friends are usually the ones you want to beat the most. Actually, that's like really that's really the truth. Like there's not many people that I just don't like, and the people that I don't like, I actually don't really care enough about them to have any sort of rivalry. You know, the rivalries are with my friends that I have to face every day and like have to deal with. Damn it, you beat me. You know, like, so to me, it's like the people that are closest to you often are the ones that you have the biggest rivals with. You know,
perpetuates the whole drive. It perpetuates the drive. It keeps things, you know, energetic and lively, and everyone's working really hard. And you know, the sport as a whole, I think when you have those friendly rivalries, like you said, you know, we do PTG, we do, you know, tons of different fun aspects of just making sure that paintball is doing great with training and all these different things that we do. But then on the field, it's like, you know, it's wartime.
It's wartime.
It's like we're going heads up, and it's like an MMA battle. I don't know, sparring, going in, and when it's tournament time, it's all go.
Well, that's, you know, the competitive nature, right? You want to be better than your best friend or better than your toughest competition or anything like that. And, you know, steel sharpens steel, right? So you're always going to be working to be better together, but against each other.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So like the last time you guys played each other, was there any like extra bonus balling going on that, you know, when you look back at each other and you're like, all right, dude, I saw that, you know, I'm coming for you next time.
I think everybody's just shooting the crap out of everybody. It's madness out there.
It is crazy out there. No, Tyler and I have a funny dynamic when we play each other now. It's like, I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, but I'm not afraid to talk about it. It's a funny dynamic because it's like, honestly, love the shit out of this guy. You know, like I know we love each other, absolute brothers, but there's like a unspoken, I don't know. I've never, and it's funny, you're in Nick Sloviak's office right now. He was like one of the first ones when I was a kid coming into the league that before games, I would be sitting there with my headphones on, I'd be about to play them, and he would come up and he'd like start joking and like trying to make friends with me. And I hated him for it. No, like that is not an overstatement. I did not like Nick because of that, because I was like, so like, leave me alone. You're not my friend right now. We're about to compete against each other. This isn't the way I prepare. And so like, it bothered me for so long. Yeah. Nick is one of the greatest guys of all time. I love Nick to death now. It took me a long time to like understand him. Nick is truly one of the best people on planet Earth. So let me get that out of the way. But there's this like unspoken, you know, thing in competition where you're not friendly with your opponents, period. So when Tyler and I play each other, like I could see when he's like getting super serious, and even when we're just at events, when we pass each other, like I'm super serious, but we'll see each other and it's like, I want to give you a big old hug, but like, good luck, dude. You know, yeah. It's like a funny thing. It's a really funny thing. You know, you have to put on this competitor's mask. You know, you have to block out all the other stuff, and you step into those goggles, or you step into like that persona of you at the paintball field, and it's a different story. And then I know as soon as the event's over, we're right back to, you know, exactly the way things are supposed to be. But it's, you know, while you're there, while you're at the field, while you're at the tournament, it's a different game. And, you know, I've got tons of friends that are like that. Mouse is another one, little Brandon, Cornell, you know, it's like we have friends. I'm sure you do too, Cody, right? Like it's just part of being competitive. You know, it's I'm not there to give you high fives and make you feel good when we're about to play each other, you know?
So is there like a cutoff time? Is it like a half hour before the game where you're like, hey, don't talk to me no more? Or,
no, it's like weeks before the tournament.
Yeah, it gets a little weird as soon as the layout drops. It gets a little weird. Yeah, it's like, all
right, see you later.
How'd you guys' practice go, Ty? Yeah, was it good? Yeah. Oh, fuck me. All right, fuck me.
Yeah. So you ever got those guys from different teams that will call you and be like, hey, man, I heard you practice them. How'd it go? And then you just give them like the biggest BS story. You're like, oh, they stopped us all weekend. They were pushing the middle, and, you know, just give them whatever you want just because you're like, hey, dude, don't call and ask me that kind of information.
That's just silly. Yeah. I don't get those calls, to be honest.
I'll start calling.
Yeah. Drop a line.
I'll be sure to give you all the accurate intel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which buzzer protector bunker are you going to? Because I'm going to go to the other one.
Yeah, I'll see you there. Yeah, see, to me, like that stuff doesn't even matter. I don't care what teams are doing in practice. I literally do not care one bit what teams are doing in practice. For me, like I have an idea, the team has an idea of how we think the field's going to play, and then we're going to find out very quickly if we're right or wrong. And you have to be flexible and ready to adjust immediately. Otherwise, you're not going to make it far. You're going to struggle. And so finding out that other teams are like stopping someone or not stopping someone, guess what? You get to the tournament and paint's bouncing. The team that was stopping that team at practice, well, they're no longer stopping that team. Or, like there's just too many variables. You have to be able to be flexible enough to like learn on the fly at the event and evolve throughout the weekend. That's the only way that you win. So yeah, what a waste of time to call. And, I heard you practice so-and-so. What were they doing out there? On AstroTurf, not even grass, like give me a break.
Shout out to Philly grass, right? Tom out there farming those fields.
Woo! That grass is nice. It was so funny is that it was like a little too long this year.
Dude,
it was like,
damn
it, Tom, now there's too much grass.
He walked around that event with the biggest smile on his face the whole time. He's like, look what I did, guys.
Yeah, it's grass.
Dude,
everywhere.
if we could be honest, he crushed it this year.
Yeah,
Way to go, Tommy.
And,
100%.
It was a good service, that's for sure.
We just need to trim it a little bit, Tom. Okay, can we get like the happy medium? Like we can't have dirt, we can't have like half a foot of grass. That's kind of hard to run in. But yes, this year it's gonna be perfect. I guarantee it. It was so funny. I saw him walking around and he's like, now everyone's complaining that there's too much grass. I thought it was hilarious.
He'll never be happy.
You'll never be happy, Tom. Tom's the man.
Next time you cut the grass and then the bugs come out after you cut the grass and then there's bugs everywhere. Then people are like, there's bugs everywhere. The grass is perfect length, but there's bugs.
Oh, okay. So then the year after that, you have to grow the grass, cut the grass, and then also like exterminate the put poison the bugs or what? What do you got to do?
Yeah, Tyler, he's the guy.
No, not me.
But then what if that stuff causes cancer when we're playing in it, dude? You can't win.
See?
Hey, we got health insurance now.
You got to get them calf muscles up when we got to go through the tall grass. That's
the tall grass. Okay. Get them calf muscles up. All right. Straight up. You're right.
Yeah. Let's go.
Man, I love it. Cody, what has been your favorite event of all time? Now that we're talking about, playing surfaces and stuff, what do you think the best event of all time was?
Best venue?
Yeah, I guess those are definitely two different questions, right? So yeah, let's go with best venue.
Phoenix, like 05 through 08.
Oh shit. Yeah, Phoenix was nice.
Was it 3 or 4 years was there? Glendale, right? That was awesome. Good grass, good surface, perfect temperature because it was always like end of February, early March. That was a good one. We should go back.
Hey, I'm definitely on board with that.
Yeah, that's where Tyler's from.
Yeah.
No, that venue was always good. Moving forward, always the Florida events are typically good. Everyone's got to deal with the humidity and whatever, but
maybe some hurricanes.
Get over it. Yeah, that's
like it.
Small potatoes.
The humidity is something though, man. I'm telling you, it's like you have an unfair advantage if you're from that side of the country because we just don't have that out here. There's no way I could train for it. There's nothing I could do to prepare for it. There's literally no solution. So like, no matter how good a shape I'm in, that first practice is so crucial for me when we're in Orlando to like kind of acclimate because it's like suffocating.
Right.
It's a different thing. Like you gotta really, really, really prepare. It's crazy. Yeah. We don't get that out here.
Paradise.
No, just the earthquakes. Just them earthquakes.
Bro, I can't even tell you the last time. I don't know. I haven't felt an earthquake.
Well, you better knock on some wood, because there's some fault lines out there, and it's
some fault lines.
It's wild on that side of the country when it comes to that aspect of it.
I break off. Have to be our own island.
Be an island, yeah. I don't know.
Be the island, yeah.
The island. Whoa. Then it'd be full circle because in paintball, typically you're the island man, right?
Yeah, in full circle.
There it is.
Oh man.
Jeez.
Put the hiders on the island.
Put the what?
The hiders.
Oh, put the hiders on the island. Yeah, survivability. Talk to me about that, Cody. That's obviously a big part of your game, big strength of your game. How important to you is survivability? And is that, have you just chosen, like I'm always curious as to why players play the way they do. Is there thought that goes into it? Like, this is what I want to be for my team because I think it contributes to winning? Or is it just like, this is what I'm good at, so this is what I've tried to become better at? Does that make sense? Like, what came first?
Yeah, I mean, everyone through their paintball career goes through some evolution, right? And, when I first got on Aftershock in 2008 was my first pro season. I was a little skinny. I think I was like 160 pounds back then. And I was just a front guy. Barely knew how to communicate, really didn't know game theory that well at that time. So it was like, go try to shoot 2 or 3 guys and move down the field kind of as fast as you can and win gun battles. And that was it, right? As you become more of a veteran on a team, though, and probably my 4th year on Aftershock, you finally got to that point, right, where you're like, all right, all of a sudden I'm playing the 2 or the 3, and then I'm filling up or whatever the case. As we're sitting here, 15-year veterans plus whatever it is, your understanding for the game is so much better, right? Jonah, who I brought up on Infamous from my divisional program and stuff like that. When you realize you can joystick a player and make him that much better while doing another job, that's where your survivability comes in, right? Where you're like, all right, if I can do this, make him better and get information to my team across the field and all these other aspects to help our team win, you kind of end up falling into that role. So survivability, quarterback, whatever you want to call it, in the roles that, we typically play.
We need better verbiage around what we do, Cody. Sorry to interrupt, but like defensive player of the year, I feel like that's a lame thing to call us. We're not defensive player. I don't think we're defensive players. Love you, Quinn. Love Iconic. Appreciate everything you do, but we need a better name. And like that 3 role, like quarterback is a good name for it, but it's already used, right? So have you put any thought into that? Sorry for the sidestep.
I have not. That's defensive. Yeah, like you say, it's kind of like
not wrong.
Quarterback's like the way you look at it, or even if you want to go like play caller, but you got to coach for that.
Maybe
right?
The chief.
So it's
Chief, yeah, that's
the
tight.
chief,
Chief Indian,
dude.
But yeah, it's kind of something you fall into later in your career. I mean, I don't think we've ever came across a rookie paintball player that's went out there and be like, yeah, I'm the 3 that is the quarterback right away. Right. Just because he doesn't have that knowledge and those years of experience.
For sure.
But survivability is one of those things in paintball, though, is if you can never lose that gun battle and you can never get shot and all that kind of stuff, in theory, you'll never lose a point. Because if you're always alive and you guard the buzzer, which is like my main job, right? They'll never hit it. So it's just like, in theory, always being alive, always contributing to your team, always shooting your gun, it all adds up to getting the W at the end.
Yeah, and in kind of a little bit in-depth way, what contributions can players make to give those to their team to help them be successful?
Locally in Wisconsin, there's a lot of guys who are like, hey, I want to go pro, right? They say that kind of stuff. And they're like, I want to go play on this D2 team or this D1 team, yet they are a D3 caliber player. And they're like, this is the way that I got to go up. I just got to move up the ranks. And I always tell them, I'm like, learn how to win first. I don't care what division you learn how to win at, whether it's 3-on-3 local tournaments, 5-on-5 local tournaments, or Division 5 X-Ball. If you learn how to win, you can bring that to any other division. And that's something that's really hard to teach also. There's no magic equation to be like, all right, you got to hold your gun like this. You can teach someone how to gun battle. You can't teach someone how to win.
Yeah, that is figured out on the inside, and each player has to muster that out from within, and find that will to win. And that's what it is. It takes the will to win. You have to be creating it, and it has to be at the top of the list of everything you think about, everything that you're doing, and your complete awareness. And everybody has to be on that in order for you to get W's. But like you said, as soon as you learn how to do that together, you can take a camp that's doing that and do really well and climb the ranks.
Correct. Yeah. And, taking that will to win and figuring out how to win and taking it and making how to make other players around you better is one thing in like pro paintball that I think is completely undervalued, right? How do you make these guys around you better? And sometimes it's just a confidence thing. Sometimes it's a communication thing. Sometimes it's just the sheer fact of like, hey, I saw my guy go make a great move, and you just follow it up, right away with him. One of my long-term teammates from several different teams is Greg Sewers, one of my favorite dudes in paintball, and him and I could play together, and we wouldn't have to communicate, yet we're communicating. We're just playing off of body language and stuff like that. So that's an element of paintball that just takes time and experience, and it's unteachable, really.
Yeah, and you can't rush it. There's no way to rush it.
Right.
Yeah, that on-field chemistry is so damn crucial to being able to make moves in pressure situations, knowing what your teammate wants, needs, and how to help them like get into good position, or being ready to capitalize when they make a move. That is like, that's everything. It truly is. And you're right. You cannot rush it. It takes a lot of time of just playing with one another. Shout out to Greg. Greg is such a dominator. I wish he would come back. It's time for him to come back. He needs to come back and play.
Yeah. Come on, Greg.
He's been away long enough. I think everything's going well in his personal life. He can come back now, right?
Right on back. Greg.
Right on back. Right? Are you trying to bring him to X Factor?
No, we're not. I think we're pretty set with the roster and stuff. But one guy on X Factor I'm really looking forward to play with is Colt Roberts. He's been a veteran in the league for many, many years. Yes. And he's one of those players that kind of under the radar a lot of the time, but he's making those big shots or making those big moves and opening up for teams. And it'll be interesting to see us play, side by side together.
One of my favorite players in the league, hands down, Colt 45, Colt Roberts, and he's been in the game for a long time. He knows pro paintball at its best. Anybody that sleeps on Colt is mistaken. Do not do that. The man is so good with the shot, and his awareness and timing is just really impeccable. If you get caught sleeping, he's going to make you pay.
And I heard he's like super nerd and like will destroy anyone in video games too.
I believe that.
So,
I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colt.
I'm looking forward to playing with Colt. Meter and I played together a little bit on Infamous for a short stint there, and looking at some of the other guys on X Factor, Jesse, LJ, Jesse Stevens, and then LJ Parrish. The weapons are there, and seeing how we'll be able to put all that team chemistry together and see if I can get that nonverbal communication with some of those guys off the bat. I'm excited for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
we're going to be seeing you soon. We practice out at X Factor, so we'll see you before the first event. And the camaraderie and the way that everybody just takes care of not only the park, but all the players. It's one of the best parks that there is out there. If you're in the area, be sure to stop by and say hi. I don't know which weekend we'll be out there, but definitely before the first event of the year, we typically head on out there.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the all-time greatest paintball parks. Every time you go there, you have fresh barbecue ready for you. The hospitality is amazing. The field is amazing. I love going out to X Factor. We got to go out there right before World Cup, and it was a great practice. They have the scoreboards, they have the clocks, so you could play like real matches. Yeah, man, what a great facility.
Yeah, Jeff and Alex are on it, and looking forward to that and not worrying about anything else and just showing up and playing paintball.
There we go. How did you get into paintball? How did it all start?
So my local field is called the Siege Paintball. They're in Big Bend, Wisconsin now. They sent out a flyer in the mail, and it was grand opening, come check out paintball. So I think I got a ride. My mom gave me a ride there with a couple buddies, and, we rented a gun and 500 paintballs and, played on their one paintball field they had. And it was a blast. And, you get hooked. And I was like 13, 14 years old at the time, and, no money or anything like that. So it's like, all right, we got to play one time. We went back 3 months later. Right. And, did that for a while. And then obviously got more and more serious about it, started working a job as, turned 15, 16 and got a real job and started making some money and playing as much as possible. That local field that I started at now has like 7 or 8 different fields. They have a whole indoor facility, a nice pro shop. They do the jelly ball, laser tag. They do it all. And it was cool. It was cool. Like through my career, this one field has grown so much, like with me through paintball too. So I've been able to see like the whole evolution.
We got to shout them out.
Yeah. The Siege Paintball, Big Bend, Wisconsin. They are the spot. They have, like I said, they host tournaments all winter long. Summertime, they do big games. They really got it all for paintball. So
that's awesome that, throughout your journey, through your career, that company has done so well in the game. And I think, paintball is growing. You got the jelly ball too, so the youngsters are able to run around and shoot those, and it kind of hardwires them to play paintball maybe when they're a little older. It's a very similar game, and we can't thank you guys enough out there who own fields and shops for all that you do for the game, making sure the guns are ready to go. Everyone's going to have a fun time because I know there's so many people out there. We legitimately need paintball. It just does something on a alchemic level that helps so many people, and it's just one of the funnest games out there. So we're lucky to be able to travel around and play these tournaments and practices and have fun playing this game. All right, so now let's dive into some Discord.
Ooh, yeah, we got some pretty good questions in the Discord.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me pull this up here. Whoa, what's going on?
Shout out to the 10-man crew, because you played quite a few 10-man tournaments this past season or two as well, and did really well in the 10-man events with Infamous.
Yeah, the 10-man was so much fun. If you've never played a 10-man, you need to go out and do it. If you guys are a new player by any means, go to the ICPLs, go to the ICC, go to any of those tournaments and go experience it, and try to find a team with one of those old guys on it, right?
Yes.
Dude, they have stories. They have the know-how, the fun. Like, they'll bring paintball to a whole different light for you. And Chris Lasoya is our old guy, right? Obviously we got Travis and some of the other guys, but he's really like the old guy that we get to pick on all the time. And he's
Lasoya.
Dude, he's such a good sport.
Nobody picks on Lasoya.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Lasoya, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch that ICC All-Star game where he fell on his face like 3 times in a row, shout out to Chris. You're my boy.
Oh boy. He's an animal, and he's having fun, baby.
Dude, and that's what it's Chris and Travis, they have the most fun at the 10-mans, and it is awesome to watch. And for a while there, like when we were the one year on Infamous, we won every 10-man that we played, and we didn't win it, or we didn't lose a single point the whole year. So like Travis is like, this is it. This is the future. 10-man is life. We're moving on. We're quitting the NXL. 10-man only from here on out. And it's a huge recommendation for any young paintball player out there. And go find, like I said, find that old guy at your field, find that old guy that or whatever the case, and go play with them.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree with that. Yeah, 10-man is amazing. The OGs are crucial to your growth. They were crucial in both, Tyler and my career. That actually leads into this Discord question perfectly. So Gogo wants to know, Cody Mickowski, if you could play alongside 4 others of any era, who would they be?
Any era. This is just fresh in my mind, but there was a picture of Angel Fregosa on that Todd's Instagram today. Him and the snake, that'd be cool just to, witness and play. One of your mentors, Tyler, Bob Long, I remember my first pro tournament, or first 7-man pro tournament, we had to play against Oakland Assassins, I think was at the time, and their guns are shooting like 500 balls per second at us, and we're shooting die guns, and we only get like 16 out of those things, and like it was not fair. It was like, this is not fair. So that'd be cool.
Shout out to Bobby.
Yeah.
That's Goat Mountain. Come on, Bob.
I'd love to have Lasoya in his prime, on that team.
They just don't make him like Chris anymore. The guy like Poorman said in Push, the guy could win a game by himself,
Right.
Straight down the middle.
And he has many.
We'll give a shout out to Rennick Miller. From
awesome.
my early Aftershock days. Yeah. He seemed like he always got the best out of his players for all those years.
It's an important thing right there.
So what am I at? Rennick, Bob, Lasoya, and Angel.
All right.
So
boom.
That'd be an interesting team. I have no idea what that team dynamic would be.
Yeah. All right.
Bunch of go-getters.
Yeah.
We have Eric in the Discord. Cody, your skills in staying alive through the midpoint madness are unparalleled. How did you cultivate your field awareness to such a high level?
Play paintball. A lot of experience. Field awareness is one of those things also you can't really teach it. I mean, you can give people pointers on what to look for and stuff like that. But one thing that people don't, or younger players don't really figure out till later on, is like where blind shots are coming from, and then also trajectory of paintballs, right? If you can just feel it, like your bunker is getting shot from a certain angle or certain area, you're like, all right, I got to get out of this thing, or whatever the case. And that's just something you learn over time. And then also, like whenever you walk fields, look for those big moves for when you need to make them, right? Where you're like, hey, this is when I have to bail, and if there's a guy in that 50 snake, I know I can get all the way to that point from the corner if there's nobody in these two spots or whatever the situation is. So I'd say counter moves, and then just play as much paintball as possible to develop that field awareness.
Yep. You got to get out there and shoot the paint and have the experiences and go through those situations and fail at it quite a bit. And then, it'll all start to click if you keep applying that pressure to it.
All right. We have Zinger PB. So Josh Pianaski. Hopefully I said his last name right. Cody, I think you might know him.
He took the photo at the Siege the other weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
So shout out to him.
Yeah. So that's what he said. He said, Cody, how awesome is it to have a photographer at practice? And then his real question is, what was your favorite layout from this past season, and how would you like to see layouts change going forward?
My favorite layout was the Philly event layout. I thought that was super dynamic. There was a bunch of spots like off the break on that snake side that people kind of went to and hid and like play these blind spots to make it tough to shoot. But if you're a really good gunner, you can actually shut down that whole side by going to that can up like in the 30-yard line. So that was a pretty fun dynamic layout. A lot of different options from both sides of that field, and a lot of blind shots too. What was the second part of this question?
How would you like to see layouts change moving forward?
More aggressive. Just any way you can build the field and make it more aggressive. Take less bunkers. I'd like to see maybe 5 bunkers come off the field.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, I don't know if 5, but I think 2 of the 6 big bunkers. So like the bricks and the wedges.
Yeah.
Take 2 of them off every event. If you took 2 of those big bunkers off, like the way they would have to place them, I think would open up the field a ton.
Well, and that's like really reward it when you get to those 50 snake or 50 Dorito bunkers. Sometimes you get to that spot and it's blinded, it's blinded out where you can't shoot a guy, right? You're like, all right, I made it here, but I still got to go to their side to get a good shot. So
yeah,
figure that out, but also figure it out where there's enough lane blockers and stuff that you can see those dynamic moves off the break.
Right.
Yeah, and you hit on something really important, is finding those pockets where you're going to get your high body eliminations and be able to really stack it up for your team and get your team the advantage in the point. There's these little pockets you can find on the field that you really get paid out on if you get to those pockets. And like you said, predominantly what we've seen with the amount of bunkers that they have is that you have to go to their side, typically they're 40 or even 30 sometimes to really get high dividends. But there are these very intricate shots that you can find as well. So don't sleep on stopping at each bunker. Like that's also something that we talk about all the time when we do like training events or, teaching a team, is just respecting each bunker, because they all have valuable shots if you implement them at the right time. and really doing your homework like you talked about and looking at all those different variables.
Yeah, and I wish they could actually build fields and eliminate there's that big laydown brick at the World Cup layout, and I got hurt, so I didn't even get to play it, but where you could sit off the back of that brick and no one could check you off, and you're just shooting a gap and just waiting, and you can't even see the guy go. And, it adds a dynamic to paintball, but it makes the game boring. It's like you're just sitting there waiting. I'd rather see a lot more in-your-face stuff. And if you're going to have a spot like that, have the opportunity for a guy to put you in and make that move. Put the gun battlers in a spot that, makes paintball more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely a task making imagine having to create a whole new thing that everybody has to sign off on every couple months. It's just kind of mind numbing to think about that, how many fields that have to be created, but somebody's got to do it. And I think that they've been doing a pretty damn good job. We're always going to be looking to cultivate the best product that we can. And I think that what we've been seeing is some fun paintball. The games have been crazy, pretty good, high scoring games for the most part. We've seen a couple where they're a little bit low scoring, but I think predominantly we're having some fun, high scoring games. And, I think people just want the carnage. That's all they want. They want to see us running into each other.
And I agree. I do think they've done a really good job with fields the last 2 to 3 years. There's been a ton of fun fields. There's always that one event a year where you're looking at some scores and it's 9-7, 11-8, you're like, dang, what happened in those games? Mm-hmm. And then people want to watch it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
you better hope that you don't play one of those crazy 9-11s before you go into the finals or quarterfinals. And then, you really got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's if you have long points like that and long games, because it is a variable. And we're seeing such control in the pro ranks in the top 6 to 8 teams right now in regards to what I'm talking about, is controlling that pace of the game and just making sure that they never, let it slip away or get too far away, and that's a really important thing, is recognizing when a situation could get out of hand in regards to points and being able to play accordingly in those moments and have the wherewithal to know how to navigate it so that, the game doesn't slip away and you have something where you're getting blown out by 3 or 4 points.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I do like the, defensive side of it too, where, guys like Marcelo and I who just hide back there, where you got to bring your guy back, cross it up, and
what are you talking about? Hide? You guys don't hide.
But when you pull that 2-on-4 out, because you guys had that communication and you put it all together, and then you communicate at the right time and you switched and you shot that guy and all that kind of stuff. That's an element of paintball though that makes it even more exciting.
Yeah.
So because no one likes to feel that all right, you're up, 4-on-2 and you're going to win every point because those guys have no, grounds to stand on. Mm-hmm. But when you have a layout that all of a sudden you get that big shot on your guy on the tape and you take off down that field and shoot another guy and it's a 2-on-2 just like that, you're like, all right, this is paintball.
Yeah. Well, both of you are really good at reading those pockets in time and being able to move accordingly off of them. So as maybe a 3, but all a 3 is the third number 1. He's just the third one in line to go and win the game. It's like you have these rows of players who are all number 1s. It's just at what time do they become that? And you have, these really intricate moves off of the madness of the 1s and 2s that are able to open these chambers for a 3 to get out and make these moves down the wire. And you both do that really well at the top of the league, and we've seen it on Go Sports time and time again, where you win 3-on-2s or whatever, 3-on-3s, 4-on-3s.
Mr. 3-on-1 himself.
You got to read the pocket.
That's it.
Thanks, Ty. It means a lot coming from you, brother.
Dude, yeah.
Seen you do it countless times this last year.
That's some fun stuff. Get out there and read the pocket.
Yeah, read the pocket, baby.
Maybe that's why we just change our name instead of defensive player or quarterback. We're the third pocket, number 1.
The third player. Number 1.
Or the glory one.
Glory.
Now I'm gonna come up with something really good. We're gonna turn this narrative around. Yeah, we're gonna come up with something really, really solid.
31
I'll run it
player.
by both you guys. The 31.
Yeah.
Nah, it's gonna be elite. It's gonna be elite. You guys are gonna love it. I gotta do some thinking.
That's what we're calling it? Elite?
No. I'm just saying it's
okay.
the name is going to be elite, you know?
Yep.
That is the craziest thing about the position we do play, though, is if we're doing our job extremely well, our number one is looking like an all-star out there.
Totally.
and that's the goal, right? So,
yeah.
you know,
there's been some really interesting snake sides and Dorito sides that we saw this last season, to where the snake side, I would say more times than not, was the hold side on a lot of fields. And if you could get in there, absolutely get in there and go all the way down and do damage and do work. But for the most part, it's like you have to really finesse teams and finesse them on the edge to get into the corner and get forward or get across that gap and have those opportunities. It's typically like you have your middle punch, probably Dorito, or maybe vice versa, maybe Dorito, then middle punch. And then the snake side would like wait for that pocket that we talked about, that opening, and then take it when a gun changes right when they need it to, or something like that. But it's been really interesting how they set up the D side and the snake sides, and obviously the middle with all those bunkers that we've seen throughout 2022.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, T, I think you're up next on the Discord.
Okay. I want to just know personally, you have any new projects that you're working on for 23, or anything cool that you're cooking up for the next season?
In terms of paintball products, no. I fill vending machines for a living. That's my day job, and I got my own little business with that, and that keeps me so busy that
that's awesome. Yeah,
I just play paintball whenever I can and get out and do it. And the next thing would be is just to see who from my little camps of players becomes the next pro player.
Yes,
and that's always a big accomplishment that I like to see, and see guys come up from the ranks, and that's always cool for me. So if anything, we'll see who's next.
Yeah, those are the best projects right there. I mean, having cultivating the talent for the future of the game. That's what we need. Everybody in the league, in this game that's out there listening to this, please, help these players learn these different skill sets so that they can teach players, and we can all have this game keep growing.
Yeah,
totally. Speaking of coming up through the ranks, Osborne for this wants to know, Cody, what player did you look up to or try to emulate as you came up through the ranks?
So early on in my paintball career, I didn't really ever buy paintball magazines or really watch any of the videos that much. So I was kind of living in Wisconsin, there wasn't a lot of big fields or anything like that. So I kind of went from playing D3 to a tryout on Aftershock, and went from that my D3 5-man team to a pro player on one weekend. And I'm like, oh, wow. It was just one of those crazy things that happened. So when I joined the pro ranks and started playing paintball all the time, though, LB on Infamous was one of those guys that I always looked up to. He played just a unique style of paintball. His communication was always extremely well. And I got to meet him one time because he was a sales rep for Key at the time, and he came to the local field. So I was like, oh man, this is really cool. And watching him play and always kind of taking notes off of how his style was, he'd be one of those guys I tried to emulate. So
he's a legend. That guy is so good at paintball, and stylistically as well as a paintball player. I have these images of him on Infamous, and just the way that they all looked. That was when LaSoya, they were all running together in the yellow and black, and Infamous at that time, was just one of the most iconic brands and teams that was out there. And LB was a part of that, and the early years of paintball he's put on for this game that we all love so much in a tremendous way.
And that 08 Phoenix event was actually my first pro tournament, and I watched Infamous win with Travis and LB, and I think Glenn, Shane Howe, who else was on that team? JR, but he got sick. But they only had 6 or 7 dudes at the end of the tournament, and they were the true skeleton squad for that, and they won the tournament. But watching Travis and LB just roll points and shoot guys off the break, I'm like, all right, these guys are doing it right. So
yeah, man, they had a lot of fun. It's a great organization.
Yeah. 100%. All right, T, you are up.
All right. your jersey number, significance, any reasoning behind the jersey number, and let the listeners know what it is so they can follow you when they watch this Go Sports.
No real significance on it, man. Just a number that's always been with me. Been paintball number, soccer numbers, all sports prior to that. No big story behind that one.
All right. And then Nick, your roommate, he wants to know, why didn't you play with Ironman? Come on.
I can't do the West Coast flights. I got, a business to run. I got to get back and get some sleep after all those red eyes. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. It's a good point. Damn, that was my next question too. Okay, my last question is going to be from Kaylin from Inspired Paintball. Cody, what one superpower would you want for playing paintball?
Invisibility.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Would your gun be invisible too?
Everything.
Oh man!
Like straight out of the Incredibles. Like the girl, you can't see her at all. Done.
I feel like there's so much paint in the air, you would still get hit though.
So you just run to tape, sneak behind them.
Yeah,
The coolest thing is right before you shot the dude, you're like, "Hey, bro, I'm right here," and then you'd shoot him. And
well, you just wouldn't. Yeah, you'd wait till you're all the way on their side.
Yeah,
and it's a done deal.
Yeah,
we would have to have a player that just looks out for the invisible man. That would be like a part of our tactic.
Just full 360 shooting the whole time.
Yeah, look for a bunker that moves when it's not supposed to, or do you still have a shadow? Can we still chase your shadow?
So you can't have the morning game or the night game. You got to make sure you're in with the NXL staff to be like, I can only play from 10 a.m. till 3.
Follow the shadow.
It's a good one.
And then let's see. I got your favorite pro player of all time. No time cap. Maybe even one of the nostalgic players from the past.
That's a good one. I got to think about that one.
Who was your local pro that was the most iconic player from the area?
So, like I said, growing up in Wisconsin, we didn't really have that many. Locally, though, Ryan Williams is from Wisconsin. He was playing on Ironman for a little while, and Aftershock prior to that. Never really got to know him or anything.
Ryan was awesome, dude. I got to play with Ryan Williams on the Ironman when I first came into the league, 06, 07. He was on that team, and he was just such a cool human.
Very cool. And then
stud too.
Tristan Brown actually is from Wisconsin. He played with Aftershock, Infamous, a couple other teams for a little while there. I have to think about that one.
No, Ryan is iconic in the history of paintball. And I know when I was a youngster, same with you, March, like you're talking about in the early years with Ironman, playing against Ryan, just because of push. He was all in push, and that was my favorite movie when I was just a kid.
Best.
I would VHS every day. I just about burned a hole in that VHS tape. And just playing against Ryan was always nostalgic and it's timeless. It's Ryan Williams.
One dude I got to play with that I never really knew much until we played the one ICC together was Davey Williamson. Got to play that, and he guested with us on Infamous for that, and that was pretty cool. He's one of those guys that you talk about a winner in paintball. You might not have been the most talented guy out there, the most skilled dude, but he was a winner and he knew how to put it all together for his teams. So that was pretty cool.
Yes,
that's huge.
All right, I got one more from the Discord. Chris H, we kind of hit on it, but what was it about X Factor that made you feel it was the right fit in your career, continuing on from Infamous?
Definitely the good rivalry we've had with them over the years and practicing with them so much. And I pretty much know all those guys really well. So it was a pretty easy fit for me. And then, Ryan and Billy were huge advocates to get me over there. So between those two guys, and like I said, playing with them and 10-man stuff, and Ryan coaching me a little bit with the Ultimate Shootout stuff, it was a pretty easy choice for me.
Yeah, the team is stacked. Definitely tons and tons of talent in the organization, and the field, the ownership, all is top level, and they all work really hard to make sure that that the organization's going to do well, and that's why X Factor's been at the top of the ranks for quite some time now, as we've seen.
All right, I got a question for you guys, though. Anyone in the league, you have an opportunity to bonus ball them 100 times. Who is it?
How about this?
One player.
We'll just make a...
Can I bonus ball my own team?
Yes.
Bonus ball one player.
Well, me and Rainey have been having some fun. So yeah, probably Rain Dance. But we're just different breed, him and I.
That's a good one though.
Yeah.
I
don't have an answer. Because I don't carry it with me. Honestly, I really don't. There's not a single grudge. Yeah, I know. It happens during a match where if I feel like there has been some sort of disrespect or something during a match, then that player immediately becomes that. But there's no I can't choose one right now. There's not a single person that I feel like I would want to bonus ball 100 times. I mean that. I'm not trying to opt out.
Oh, dang, 100? Woo. Is that what he said?
100. He said a hundo. He said a hundo.
God.
Why not? He said a hundo.
Throughout a whole match,
that doesn't mean that I don't like to have that type of.
Hold on, a hundo is a lot though. That's like 15 seconds. Yeah, you're like you might have to even reload.
Yeah, how about you? It sounds like you got some, because there's a couple questions you've asked about some personal. Who do you want a bonus ball?
So
is it me? Are you mad that I took the Defensive Player of the Year award from you? Is it me?
No, not
it's
me.
No,
I'm feeling it.
I was talking to Nick before coming on with you guys. I'm like, man, I'm gonna ask those guys some questions. I'm gonna try to throw them off a little bit.
There we go.
I love it.
Just straight to the edgy questions though, like not so proper and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm definitely gonna shoot Harrison from my old teammate as much as possible, right?
Oh, I will give you that. I love shooting Harrison.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
God. Come on.
But here's the reason: you have to shoot him that much, otherwise he's not coming out. So it's not for any other reason than if you don't shoot him a lot, he's not coming out the field. So, he's up there.
Harry.
He's up there.
Harry.
Harry.
Harrison, or even Harris.
I forgot about Harris.
Harris is a good one to shoot a bunch of times. So,
Harris is. Yeah, non-consequential. But there's matches where it's like, again, so like that's the kind of stuff that sparks up in matches, and it's interesting because just outside of the paintball field, I'm not that confrontational in that way. I really like to I try to be as like uplifting as I can and not in that kind of light, but something can happen on the field and then it's, we're inside those nets and it's a different story, but I don't carry like personal grudges with players in between events. I really don't. I don't. No,
you got to keep it moving.
Yeah,
always.
I don't know. Keep it moving.
But I do know what you're talking about. In like when you're playing a match against, it doesn't matter who. If things go,
something can happen. Yeah,
and then it's like, oh God, what do we got going on here?
It's on. It's on. Yeah, like literally, and sometimes sometimes I take it way too far for sure. I have before, and like. I'm like, I thought this is what we were doing, though. Now you're mad at me as a friend. I thought this is what we were doing right now. Did I overreact? I overreacted. Right. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I overreacted. I thought this is what we were doing. So
no, and this is just playful banter stuff. I mean, it's just for fun, and paintball's always been like my escape to go have fun, and I still to this day will always enjoy the whole chemistry with all the guys, and we've known each other for many years, so just one of those things where off the field, like I left everything on the field.
Well,
I always do.
Of course, it's all good sport. It's all about being a good sport. There's a certain aspect of sport that is fiery, that is, a little bit off the Richter scale. It's like sports just get wild, but it's all in good sport. We do not condone violence. We do not condone fighting or anything like that. And if we ever see that kind of stuff, we shut that down immediately and make sure that it has to be the best community energy that we could possibly build up. But when it comes to pro paintball, I mean, we're trying to win big tournaments, and there's a lot of mental warfare. There's a lot of fun, people have a lot of fun with it. And You know, it's just it's a part of sport. Listen to a MJ documentary. Listen to any of the greats that did anything in any sport, and listen to how they talk about it. You know, and that if you're gonna take it to any type of level where you're winning stuff, you have to as Teddy Roosevelt said, speak softly, carry a big stick. You know, and be able to perform on that field and get the job done when it matters the most. You know.
And, what we go through at these paintball tournaments from, the 5-day process, sometimes Sunday morning, you need that extra fire. You need that little something. If someone comes and bonus balls you that first point of that first match, you're like, oh, this is how it's going to go. And, sometimes it just lights your motivation even more. So
very true. Yeah, it's very true. And I think it does that to a lot of players. So it's actually not in your advantage to be bonus pawing players out there, because you actually only piss most players off. Yeah, maybe you got 5 to 10% that'll really get like buckled in from it and like not play well. But I think predominantly people are going to play better. So it's actually not in your best interest to like get players super fired up and open-eyed and ready to like perform at that level.
Right.
Because then you got a whole nother entity that you're dealing with out there, and you got to manage that now. So play good sport, have fun, make good shots, train hard, and so many good things will happen for any paintball team that does that.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Marcia, you got one more question? I got another one here.
No, I had my last one. I must have missed one. If you have another one.
No, I think we hit on just because people have been asking questions that we've kind of hit on during the show, but I did, for the training that has to happen during the winter, want to ask you about some tips and tricks that you could give the listeners who are having to deal with cold weather, how they can stay sharp during the winter. Obviously, play it indoor, but is there any other training, tricks that you have for them?
Yeah, I mean, early on when I was trying to get really good at paintball, where we played was like upstairs of a barn, and it wasn't heated. So like we did all the tricks of like throwing those like hot hands packs in our loaders and just like doing like the 1-ball drills to keep the paint warm so it wouldn't shatter in your gun. We were taping those hot hands to our guns to try to keep it going.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, we were in the sticks for that kind of stuff. Those would be good tricks. The other thing too is like, everyone knows paintball, you get a lot of core strength, a lot of different exercises that you can go on to build that stuff. But do any sport that's kind of non-traditional, really. Whether you're going to go and rock climb or do like hot yoga or anything like that. Those are usually the types of things that will help your paintball body, stay fresh and stay in shape. Marcelo was talking about the Florida heat and the humidity there. Hot yoga might be that trick to get you there.
No, the sauna doesn't do it. I'm in the sauna every single day. The sauna is dry heat. The humidity is a different thing. It really is. It's a different thing. I hear what you're saying, but I got to fire back because trust me, I try that. I did try it.
No, the wife and I have done that though. And some of those have like 75% humidity and it's 105 degrees. So it's just, a little different stuff, but, those would be the only real tricks for the winter time to keep you fresh and keep you going. And then anytime those temperatures hit 40 or 50 degrees, those guys at Blast Camp, all of a sudden, like, it looks like it's going to be 50 on the weekend. They're like, hey, we're playing this weekend. I'm like, there's still snow on the ground. And they're like, we're going. I'm like, all right, we'll see you there.
Yes, the heart. They got the heart, man. And damn, I thought that they were going to take the pro spot. Good luck to them in the next season, and congratulations on all their success, because they've been playing tremendously. And it definitely gets cold up there, so you got to find different ways to stay sharp, and doing those exercises and playing as much paintball, like you said, definitely gets the job done. What about New Year? We got New Year coming up. It's going to be 2023 in a couple days. What are you doing for the New Year?
One of my Wisconsin guys is actually getting married. Kyle Castro.
Hey.
Pretty awesome dude.
Oh, shout out to Castro.
Congrats.
Nice.
Yeah. He actually went to a Marcelo clinic way back.
He was my boy before he was your boy, and now he's a total traitor. He was all in on Infamous, and damn it, Kyle. We used to be boys, and traded me in for Cody over here.
No, it'll be fun though. So we have a bunch of paintball dudes there, and bringing the new year, celebrating his marriage. So
nice. Well,
That's
congrats to our boy. That's pretty awesome. That's fantastic. He's getting married. So nice. Right on. Is it gonna be on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? New Year's Eve. Awesome.
So
All right, Kyle. Nice.
Every year's a party.
that's it.
Boom.
Arte. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Fantastic.
So what about you guys? What are you guys doing?
Low key, not much.
Low key. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking to. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My girlfriend works until 11:30 on New Year's Eve, so not really gonna go do anything without her. Probably just wait for her at the house, and we'll ring in the new year. Wake up early and go play paintball. That's what I want to do because it's New Year's Day's on a Sunday, but it actually looks like we're finally gonna get some rain. So if it rains, we might end up going up to the mountain, maybe do some snowboarding or skiing. She skis, I snowboard. On New Year's Day, but New Year's Eve is gonna be pretty mellow.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna blow some stuff up, Arizona fireworks, and probably get some ice cream and just hang out with the fam. Got my 2 sons and my beautiful wife, and just take it easy, get ready for the new year.
Shout out to the wives of paintball, huh?
Really one time. Yeah,
I think I got the best one out there. Just no offense to any others,
man.
but she works the event. She travels. She's a saint. So
she is
Sam
tremendous.
is the best.
Yes, Sam holds
Absolutely.
it down. And shout out to all the moms and paintball wives and everybody that is working so hard that nobody sees, no acknowledgments. But shout out to all of you that make it happen for so many players out there too. Because without the whole team, we can't accomplish anything. And we're so lucky, like I said before, to have this game. And thank you to everybody who continues to tune into the show. Before we let you go, Cody, definitely let the people know where they can follow X Factor and where they can follow you on your journey on the socials there.
I think it's at Cody Mickowski 32.
Bro can't even take a picture. He already told us.
Yeah. Otherwise, come play paintball at the Siege in Wisconsin, Blast Camp, Indiana. I'm usually those 2 places throughout the off weekends. And other than that, I'll be at X Factor Paintball.
Yep. And you can follow X Factor as well on Instagram. They have a great field out there if you haven't looked into it. Definitely a bucket list field that you got to check out at some point. Happy New
100%.
Year to everybody out there in PTG world. It's going to be
Happy New Year.
2023.
We will see you in 2023. Cody, thank you so much, man, for joining us. Mad respect to your game. Love what you've done with Infamous, and I really look forward to what you bring to X Factor. It's going to be a big addition to the squad. So we will see you in the new year, brother.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Dude,
Thank
thank you. Peace.
Peace. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really hope that you guys have a safe and happy holiday. Have a wonderful new year. We look forward to seeing you in 2023. Thank you guys so much from PTG Nation for rocking with us all year long. If you've made it this far and you've listened to the show, we love you guys. We appreciate you, and we really are grateful for everybody's support. And we look forward to making the show bigger and better in 2023. That is the only direction to go in. Okay, as always, if you would like to support the show, head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the Patreon link, and sign up. Get access to the Discord. The Discord has been amazing. We had the best holiday goat meeting, which is a once a month meeting that we do privately just for the goats. You can ask us whatever you want. We do tons of giveaways. It's a lot of fun. You get inside access, inside info, inside intel, all sorts of really cool stuff. And I don't know. You don't want to miss out. You definitely want to be in there. And like I said, we love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we will see you next year.